how does tonight rank in amongst those achievements?
My teeth stayed in, so it's fucking right up there. No, look, the whole night taken into consideration. A sold out Manchester Arena. Chris Eubank's a huge name, Sky pay-per-view, and to do something kind of everyone said I couldn't do. Not no one thought I'd do. Basically, everyone told me I couldn't do it. Obviously it ranks right up there with the best nights of my career. What I will say is Chris Eubank Jr took a risk tonight, a risk that he didn't have to take, and he is a fighting man. He is a real fighter, and he stepped in there. There was a lot of pressure on him tonight, and I think he will have known how good you were. He probably knows now the levels that you really are at, and we hope to see a rematch. It'll be on Chris Eubank Jr as to whether we see it, but I just want to say thank you to him as well, because he gave us a spectacle and a build-up that was incredible, and obviously Beefy has come out on top. Before we finish, any questions to Liam, to Joe?
Liam, how great did it feel to silence someone that was really trying to get in your head in the build-up?
Obviously great. That was always kind of going to be the plan from the start. The fight was made. It'd be great to just beat Chris, the character. But look, that's the way he portrays his career, basically. I said before, and I know this week got out of hand a little bit, but name me a Chris Eubank Jr fight and build up that's being respectful and shook hands, and he hasn't had one. So I knew that was gonna go that way. You know what I mean? But it was just always going to be a good victory to beat Chris. He's a big name. He's probably a bigger name outside of boxing than he is in boxing. It's a strange one with him, but he's a big name now, and to have the reception I got in Manchester, I said beforehand, take football rivalries aside, Manchester's good as home for me. I've had some top nights up here. I'm still unbeaten in Manchester. I won my world title here, and that probably topped it again.
The atmosphere was electric, like you mentioned, here in Manchester. I'm guessing that you're thinking about the idea of it back in Liverpool rematch if Eubank takes it. If he takes the rematch and it being in Liverpool as well. Yeah, he has to sit with his own team, his own family, and see if he wants this rematch. But I'm open to anything. I always have been. Open to anything. You ask anyone who's ever dealt with me over the years. I'm not hard work to deal with, but. If it's Chris next, it's Chris next. If not, we can sit down, and I've got very good options now. I'm in a good position. I know Ben said Kel wants to fight the winner. That's a huge fight. I know there's talks with Golovkin. So I've got a good position now at 160 as well as 154. So, it's, again, just a win. That was all that mattered today.
Radio Raheem. Chris has tweeted that you had a great shot. He credited you with the win. And has tweeted that he wants the rematch. You accepting that rematch?
Yeah, I have to. I think, I don't know, yeah, of course. I said last week, I said 2 weeks ago, I said 3 weeks ago, 4. I beat him once, I'll beat him twice, so it's not a problem, but this has to be right for me now and on my terms. It's not really bothered about the Smith Eubank sign, but the other things has got to be on my terms.
What makes it right on your terms?
Just obviously everything, like I said, Liverpool. Obviously the money side to it now. Might drag him down to 157.
A lot of people thought you were past your prime before this fight. Is this maybe the best Liam Smith we've seen? I
had this conversation for the past 2 or 3 years. I've got grey hair and I'm 34, but I'm training as good as ever. I'm training as good as ever, I feel as good as ever, and I'm still getting the results I should be getting. So, like I said, I've got a good enough family to tell me once that day is done. I've got a good enough team around me now to tell me to have a think about it. But again, while I'm producing nights like this and results like this, I'm far from the end.
So obviously Chris Eubank Jr had a lot of things to say about Scouse people, and obviously in the arena tonight there were a lot of Scouse people. You've got Darren Till, Curtis Jones, Jamie Carragher. What does it mean to get that win in front of so many of your home fans?
Look, it was just great to get the win in front of just be fans in general. Not just Liverpool as a whole. I've got fans all over, so it was great to just repay them fans who stuck by me, especially through a bit of a sticky week where it got a little bit out of hand with me and Chris. But I take what Chris said with a pinch of salt. I don't think he means it. A lot was said.
So, so that's it really.
One more. Go on. John.
Go on, John, can hear.
I suppose just shout.
Yeah.
Aye. Do you think Chris can sort of rebuild and come back in a different way? Could he be different in a rematch? What would you expect from that if it does happen? Because the signs are he's sort of tweeted about it potentially.
Yeah, again, I think he's probably going to have to tweet about it and have to talk about it right away. Like, kind of an ego and a pride thing. He's not going to say, well, I don't want that rematch, I've just been knocked out. But you might get a different answer in 3, 4, 5 weeks' time when he's sat and thought about it, maybe watched it back. I need to watch it back myself. I can't tell you how thingy it was. So, he'll have a sit down with his team and his family, and he'll decide if he wants that rematch. Like I said, if he wants that rematch, I'll give him it.
And you also, you mentioned Golovkin, which maybe before this fight would have been hard to believe at middleweight, but for you, what would be the kind of perfect next step in an ideal world if you weren't tied up with rematch clauses?
Anyone at Anfield. No, just obviously, like I said before, it puts me in a good position now. I can say, like, Chris's ranking's at 160. Obviously, I don't know whether it might go down well, but I can go back to 154 if necessary. It just depends what happens, but we'll see who comes available and what's right for me, my team and my family.